As we have said previously concerning the greatest commandment, we have already uploaded the introduction based on this fact that the greatest commandment Christ have highlighted. Now we want to explain further based on the scriptural injunction. Look at what the Bible said in the book of Matthew, chapter 22. We read from verse 34. Now, but when Pharisees had heard that he put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. When one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him, and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and the great commandment. Now look at what Christ said. Now a lawyer from the Pharisees asked him a question, tempting him, trying to know which one is the greatest commandment, because they look at all the commandments to be equal. Now the lawyer wanted to tempt him or to hear from him which one he will esteem high, or which one will he exalt higher than others. Christ looked at him and also explained one that is greatest among all. He told them that love thy Lord thy God. Now, if you love God, thy God, as it has been stated from the time of Moses, the law of Moses, Moses also said it. That is the first commandment. We say, love thy God, thy Lord. Now, if you love God, the Bible said in the book of Ecclesiastes, he said, if you love God and keep his commandment, that love God and keep his commandment and statutes. How do you love God? If you observe the law, you keep the commandment of God, you are obedient to his commandment, you love him. That is why Christ said the greatest commandment is to love God, thy God. How do you love God? Do you go and show God love in heaven? No. It is by keeping all his commandments, keeping all his laws, keeping all the statutes. If you keep all those laws, you love God. That is what he's telling them. Now, if you love God, you must keep his commandment. That is what the Bible says in the book of Ecclesiastes. If you love him, that means you have obeyed all the law and you have kept all the commandments. And that is the greatest commandment. That is one Christ said is the greatest among all the commandments. Keeping that law, keeping the statutes, keeping the commandments of God means you love God. And based on that fact, it is the greatest commandment among all. And those people were astonished. The lawyer was amazed. Now somebody said, how will I love God? Loving God simply means keeping all the commandments according to the book of Ecclesiastes. Exodus also said it. So based on this fact, we are saying that the greatest commandment is to love God, thy God, according to the teachings and doctrine of Christ. So based on this fact, we are saying God's love is the greatest commandment. Loving God is the greatest commandment. Loving God is synonymous with keeping his commandments. It's in pari passu with keeping his commandment. That is what it simply means. So based on this fact, we are saying that if any man have ear to hear, let him hear.